Greetings, professional panners and potential people pontificating panning as a pastime. I'm here on Buffalo, as usual, and today we are going to classify... No, that's not right. Today we're going to do some timing, because in some of my past videos you may heard me mention that I don't classify much, because I think it costs time, and time is what you don't want to waste when you're moving dirt, especially in this state when you're really not allowed to use any apparatus that is designed to help move the dirt. So even though we still use it. But anyway, that's beside the point. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out how many pans it takes to classify off a 4-gallon bucket, and we're going to use that as our average base time to classify the average amount of dirt that we use. Then I'm going to just dig that many pans and pan that stuff out and see how long it takes. And then we'll pan out the 4 gallons and add that to the time. I know this is confusing. I'm not explaining it well. So anyway, bear with me. You'll see the process. I think it'll make sense by the end of this thing. And then we're really going to find out if I'm saving time or moving more material by not classifying and just panning, or who knows. I may find out that classifying off buckets, hauling them down to a spot and panning them is worth it. So just because I feel it's not, doesn't mean that it's not. So we're going to find out today. That's the plan. And if there's time, then I think we'll pit the banjo pan up against the Garrett Super Sluice, and we're going to see how much faster the banjo pan is or not. That's if we have time. If not, we'll put that in another video. But I think we'll have time for that today. So, hey, stay tuned. I'm with a new fella today. I'll introduce him here in a little bit. Just met him downstream. Told him, come on up. I'm finding gold. We're panning together. We're having a good time so far. And hey, it's going to be a good day. Weather's supposed to be perfect. So what I'm doing is I'm filling up what I would normally pan without classifying, picking out the bigger rocks. That's about the size of the pan that I would pan out. And then I'm classifying it right there, and I'm counting how many. This would be pan number 5. And I'm just about at the 10-minute mark. Everything else is the same. I prepped the site, did what I usually do when I'm normally panning. I'm probably going to have 6 pans in there. The question will be after is, can I do 6 pans in 10 minutes? And that includes travel time to my panning spot and all that stuff. So I'm going to try to keep it as real as I can. Hey, we'll see. I did pause the timer for this. We're going to come over. This is Vince, and we're going to come over and look over his shoulder. He said he's got some gold in there. This is Vince's first time panning, I think. Second time. I think you were out yesterday, right?
I was out yesterday for a little while. Yeah, I'm learning.
Nice.
It's definitely a tricky thing.
Yeah, it is. You'll get the hang of it, though.
Oh, I lost that piece that I had.
Well, that's all right. We're going to show some gold, but we'll let you find it without the pressure of the camera breathing over your back. This is where we're digging today. This is where I was a couple weeks ago. I wasn't able to get out last weekend because of a metal detecting event. You probably won't see the video, because if anybody could screw up a video, it's me. I didn't find anything video worthy, and a lot of times I got so excited about what other people were finding, I forgot to hit the record button. So I really don't have a lot of footage because I'm an idiot as usual. Anyhow, we're going to get the clock going again. I think it's only going to take 2 more pans, this one and the next one. So we'll probably be less than 15 minutes in. So, well, let's see what we got. So we'll round that back to 13 minutes. It's a little more than a 5-gallon or 4 gallons, but we'll make note of that on the next time. We're going to pan it out with Garrett Super Sluice. As you can see, I did bring the banjo pan. Probably should have checked that before I opened my mouth in the beginning of the video, but I brought it. Let's restart the timer, and we're going to go down there and see how long it takes to pan that out. And the combined time, yeah, I have to combine the time to see overall how long it takes. I think it was 6 pans of unclassified material to make about 5 gallons of classified material. If you're confused, so am I. Hopefully it'll all make sense in the end here. Okay, so 20 minutes to pan out that classified material. So if you add the 2 together, what are we at? 33 minutes was 13 and 20. So 33, I think it was 13 minutes. So now what we'll do is we'll dig and pan, I think it was 4.5 pans of classified material, and we'll see how long it takes me to do that. So my original thought was correct. 6 pans of unclassified material takes 22 minutes and 23 minutes, we'll say, to process, whereas 6 pans of classified material to classify and then pan them out took 33 minutes. So basically we're 10 minutes faster doing it pan by pan than classifying and hauling. So you can move more material even though you're hauling more worthless material, but I was picking out the bigger rocks just like I would any other time for the whole process. So I tried to keep things as equal as I could, and that sort of confirms my suspicion about classifying. Now the big question is, where's the gold? Because my last pan was a blank, and I've been seeing less and less gold. I need to poke around and move some material down here. As you can see, there's a nice big rock that I moved, which gave me some more depth, but there wasn't anything under it. So I'm guessing I have to move closer to the bank. I may go downstream just a hair. I was on decent gold, so I don't know where it went, but it sort of disappeared on me. We'll find it. We got to. I got a new guy to impress, so. Well, that last test went so well. Let's try another one. So we're gonna do 5 pans with the Super Sluice and time it, and then we'll do 5 pans with the Banjo Pan and time it. The one thing I gotta figure out is quite a difference in size here, so I gotta figure out how to even that out. I may fill the Banjo Pan and then put it in the Super Sluice, which will cost me some time. But I think at the end of it all, the other thing is I already know the Banjo Pan, I'm going to have far less concentrate at the end of it. So I think to make all things equal, I'm going to run the Banjo Pan first, and then I'll run the Super Sluice. And what we'll do is we'll try to whittle the amount of concentrates down to equal that of whatever the Banjo Pan gives us. And that's going to be difficult because that's what's going to cost us time. So I'm pretty sure I can run a lot more material through the Super Sluice than I can the Banjo Pan in a certain given amount of time. But I'm also going to have like 5 times the cons at the end of it, or even more than that. It might be a trade-off. I do like running the Banjo Pan. It's a little less effort than the Super Sluice, but at the end of the day, if you're running more material, even if I get more concentrates, that just costs me time at home, and that I don't care about. I got plenty of time on a rainy day or in the evening or whatever and plenty of equipment to run cons, so sometimes I like taking more cons home. But anyway, I'm babbling. Let me get at it here, and let's time out. Oop, we got some gold coming over here. Oh, there we go. Awesome.
That's a good piece.
Yeah, that is a good piece.
Wonderful news.
I know there's at least a couple like that.
Yeah, there's a couple more.
That was different than the last one, right? All right. So, all right, let's try to figure out what the heck we're doing here and make this as confusing as possible. And don't forget, when you're using this Banjo Pan, see how all that kind of shimmers? That's all air. This vortex mat will not catch any gold if all those pockets are full of air. So the first thing we got to do is get the air out of that thing. And the best way that I've found to do that is to pop it out. It's got a nice big hole in the front of that. You can get your fat thumb in if you got fat thumbs. The best way to get all that air out of there is just whack this thing against water a few times. Get your phone soaking wet. That'll drive that air out of there. What's Jeff Williams say? When you go pan, you're gonna get wet. There, now, see the difference? All those pockets are holding water now. Perfect. All right, let's get the shoveling, do 5 pans. We'll start the timer, and we're on our way. All right, 12 minutes and 45 seconds to go through 5 pans of material in that Banjo Pan. But like I said, that doesn't hold as much material, but it also thins down the concentrates a lot. So a lot more. So the trick is I can measure out with the banjo pan how much material in the super sluice, which will probably cost me a few extra seconds per, but that's okay. That won't matter much in the long run, but it will be trying to match the amount of cons that I have left. That's what's going to cost the time with the super sluice, because I mean that's usually one pan's worth of cons. They're pretty darn close with the super sluice. So let's get a timer started for that. We'll get going. We'll see what we can do here. Okay, that was about 14.5 minutes as opposed to 12 and 45, so we'll say 13. But all things equal, I've got more concentrates in that, so I spent a little more time panning that down. Plus I had to use that as a measure, so I'm gonna say that was pretty much even. That's pretty much even. So 12-13 minutes for 5 pans. I think at the end of the day, for a couple minutes longer, you can run more material at a sitting. However, if you were to run a bucket, just sheer speed and concentrates afterwards, the amount of concentrates afterwards, I'd say the banjo pan probably has it. However, I do know that like a 4 or 5 gallon pail worth of concentrates is, what did I say, 4.5 of these pans, but it's like 7 of those, or 8, probably 8. I think it was 8 the last time I counted. So to me, that's pretty much a virtual dead heat there as far as speed goes. But the banjo pan has a clear advantage with the amount of concentrates at the end without having to really thin everything down. What I didn't take a peek to see if there was any gold in any of this stuff. So actually, if we want to do that, this was 5 pans worth of concentrates, and let's see if we actually got any gold. I know there's gold here in this spot, but oh yeah, I can see a couple pieces up there. See right there, peeking. There's some more. There's another piece. There's another one over there. So yeah, there was gold here. The whole point wasn't really to find any gold on this. It was more of a timed exercise. But it's always good to see gold. We knew there was gold here because Vince over there has been finding a few pieces here and there in his classified bucket. So there's some concentrates. And the other thing is with the banjo pan, you can absolutely do this with the banjo pan, but I actually prefer dumping this off into a regular pan. But we'll do this. We'll thin this down a little bit more. This is everything that came out of the banjo pan and the mat. So if there's any bigger rocks in there that got caught up in that little nugget trap piece at the head of the vortex matting, and if I do that, I'm going to spill it all over myself. It's a little bit more difficult if you're not used to running it like I am, and there's probably way too much material in there. Let's just do a quick pull back. See if we can't get a reveal going here. Not a very great angle for me. Trying to watch the camera to keep it in frame, and just way not a very good demonstration of how do you do this. Oh, look at that. Well, there was 2 there. I thought that was 1. That's nice. Yeah. That's the size I was finding a couple weeks out of here, a couple weeks ago. So I think we're doing well. Vince is doing better than I am, but I've been messing around. See, I don't know. There's probably gold in there. Let me, I'm gonna dump that off, put that in a regular pan, and that's way easier for me. I need the bigger, flatter bottom. I'm not very good at doing cons with a little bottom. Yeah, I know the old joke. I like my gold pans like I like with my women, with a big bottom. Just don't tell my wife. Yeah, it's been a while since I've just shown some gold, but There was actually, I want to say 8 or 10 colors in that pan. That's the bigger stuff right there, which isn't too bad. I've been just sort of prospecting around trying to find us a little bit better spot, and I think I found it. So to continue on with timing things, and I know you're probably wondering, you've done everything but classify right into your pan. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to classify right into the pan. We're going to do 5 pans. I'm not sure how to gauge that other than just to time out 5 pans, because we know that it's about 12 minutes, I think, for 5 pans. I'll have to look back. It's been too long to remember. 12 or 13 minutes. So if we can classify right into the pan and maintain that 12 or even 15 minutes, I think we're doing pretty good. And the benefit of that is you know, there's nothing, you're not hauling anything or panning anything out that's bigger than a 1/2 inch. So you're actually panning more material at once. So I think, what do we say? 5 gallons is 6 pans. 6 pans of unclassified makes 5 gallons, but 4.5 pans of classified. So every 4.5 pans, you're doing an equivalent of like 6 pans of classified, non-classified material. Let me start that again. So for every 4.5 pans of classified material, that equals 6 pans of non-classified material. So you're doing a 1.5 pan more material by classifying it right into the pan. And we'll see what I'm sure the time benefit is going to be worth to classify right in the pan. So I don't know, I'm babbling. Hope you understand that. It's getting me all confused, I can say that. 18.5 minutes for 5 pans classifying, and I didn't lug the pan and classifier over to where I was sitting down and panning. I just did it right beside me here in the hole. I gotta tell you, it's a lot more work to do it that way. I would almost rather sacrifice the time on doing a whole bucket than I would do it pan by pan, because that was definitely a lot more work. That was harder on the back and just harder all the way around. Even panning that material out was a little more difficult because I was making them pretty full. So it's easier when you have a little more control. Well, I guess I could have put less material in the classifier, but Vince is still hanging in there.
Still going.
Looks like it's almost his last little bit. He's got just a tiny bit more in the bucket. He's been classifying. He's been finding it easier to sit down and relax here and just pan out the classified material, so we'll leave him be. Hopefully he'll have some nice gold in there. We moved downstream from where we were. I'm pretty sure there wasn't any gold in this area, but there seems to be some beyond that and in behind this big rock right here. Not much. I'm gonna expand my hole this way a little bit just to see if we're still seeing anything. Over here there's nothing towards the bank, so the gold seems to be drifting back towards the center of the brook down here. That's why I do a nice big cross section to try to see what's going on, because that gold will be sort of in a line usually. So that's all the timing I think I can do for today. I can't think of another test to run. I still think it's faster to just pick out the big rocks out of your pan with your nose pickers and toss them off and then do the panning than it is to classify. That's my story, and I'm going to stick to it. Well, looky there. That's probably my nicest piece all day so far. Vince and I are still going at it, so I don't think he's had, have you had a blank pan? Nope, no blank pans.
No, that thing gold in every one.
Not big, but it's still gold, so I think he'll be surprised at how much he has when he gets all said and done. It all adds up pretty good. I'm kind of hopeful that I got a big rock that I'm moving, so I'm kind of hoping that there's something under that thing. Something with some size. It would be nice to see some sizable gold. But you know what? It's color, and it's color in every pan, so you can't complain. Beautiful day. Really beautiful day up here.